Hello, it's Jang here with a look at the Mega Bloks Call of Duty Advanced Warfare Atlas Mobile Turret. The set comes with 587 pieces. It's an MD turret, which you get to see in-game and use in-game. It's a transformable thing. It has wheels on it, but yet it's able to kind of walk as well for traversing additionally, strange and difficult terrain for getting over rubble and such. And they've done a pretty good job of capturing the look of the thing, the overall shape. It does bring in some new parts that were molded specifically for this set, I believe. These guards on the front and rear wheels. And I think also these holders for the wheels as well as the tires inside. The tires, they really crack me up. They've got tread on all sides. The little bit of insert right there you can see doesn't spin. That's actually a plastic piece, but all the rest of it has tread everywhere, which is realistic, but there's just something about this soft rubber and the way that it feels. It just makes it feel like one of those stress ball things where you just want to keep squeezing the thing. It's a really interesting texture to it, but it has a lot of grip in any direction, so that actually works out pretty well. Got a couple of hydraulic lines going up for drive. In game that would be 4 of them, but I think 2 is enough given the size of the hose pieces. They actually do have the access ladders along the sides to help your figures get up in there. Once again, no stickers, so everything that looks like it has some sort of design on it is just a print. These are window pieces, or kind of shield pieces that actually have angled slats. And there's just one thing on this that's not particularly durable. It's this deck at the rear. If you kind of hold that or grab it too much, it can start to get loose and you just have to squeeze it back together. As you can see, the whole thing rolls quite very easily. Also has kind of the realistic style of positioning of lights. So it's got the smoky colored lights facing towards the front and the red ones facing towards the rear. Of course, the entire turret is able to rotate around, and the barrels are able to go up and down. Quite a range of motion for those, but the most important thing for this is how the legs work. So this looks like kind of a high position, but you can bring it up higher still because they've got these ratcheted joints and they go quite far. You can actually bring this out to here to make the thing really just get up on its toes. So incredible range there, and you can bring these all the way up to really get it to crouch or to really reach up. If it's grabbing at something that's a higher bit of terrain, so you can get that kind of articulation there. You can see that it's fairly stiff, so things are not going to want to fall. Basically, wherever you pose it, that's where it's going to want to stay. But you can not quite get the three-legged kind of pose there. Let me see if I can pull it. There we go. That's it. Just get that to move off a little bit. You also can move these, bring this back down a little bit more, move these out to the sides, which is quite convenient for turning. That kind of works. Yeah, that'll work. And again, with the rubber tires, they have good traction, so it doesn't want to slip around even if you have it on a hard surface. But most of the time, you're probably going to have this thing lower to the ground, and then when it approaches taller terrain, you're just going to bring one of these legs up and have it kind of reaching like that. So that's really what it needs to do right there, and it does that quite well. And it can even be on the extreme opposite, so you can really be diagonal in a little small valley and still pose it right in there and have the range of motion to turn the turret around, still have your full elevation. So that's really the stuff that needs to be done right, and that's the stuff that was done quite right with these nice multi-axis ratcheted joints. The cockpit has a seat for one, and there are 2 control sticks on opposite sides which are on ball joints, so you can move those around and really put them into the hands of your figures by putting the hands down towards the sides. And printed console pieces, so you've got targeting there in the center, and over on the right, information about systems in general and more status. over there. So 3 separate pieces, and those are semi-transparent pieces that are kind of a tinted color to let a little bit of extra light come through them. Doesn't really show up all that well, but it's better than putting them against black. Here are the first 2 of 3 figures included in the set. Neither of them are officially licensed and named, but I don't see how you can not see the one on the right as Gideon. I mean, he doesn't have all of the exact correct colors and such, but I'm pretty sure that's intended to be an unofficial Gideon character there. Not sure how I feel about the single dot, single application eyes there, because they actually do look to me pretty good from a distance. Like from a few feet back, they have really good definition, but up close they look quite dead. I don't know, it's kind of a mixed bag, because when they do those, or when they did them with more detail and they had the light color behind to represent the whites of the eyes also, that oftentimes would not line up properly, or the 2 paint applications wouldn't line up properly, and you get these really weird looking faces. So it's kind of a you win some and you lose some with that either way. But I think these look good from a distance. They'll probably be more consistent than the old ones, but they really do look a little bit dead up close. Now, a few details that I do want you to note here is that they have come up with their own advanced warfare specific grenade, and also the pouch piece, and also this clip down on the leg. Those are all new, so they didn't just reuse the existing old ones. Also, with the soldier on the left, note that he's got an extra special little print there for the data pad uplink. His little console there on the wrist, and also different colors for the exo suit pieces. So gunmetal gray on the left, bright silver on the right, different sizes and styles of the main power pack center areas there. And then for weapons, you got the big LMG on the right, and the one on the left I think is supposed to represent an Atlas 45. And then there's this guy who is cloaked. And notice that it's not just using a clear resin, it's actually coated with an iridescent paint application or a lacquer over the top, which has just the tiniest little flake in it that just barely refracts light, splits it up, has a prismatic effect. So you actually get those little micro rainbows in there. You see different colors as the light hits it from different angles to help kind of simulate how the cloaked figure, or how the cloaked character looks in game. Very nicely done. This is made from just normal pieces. All the molds are standard, and that's an IMR there, I believe, with a big old scope on the top of it. It's what that's supposed to represent. It's got a little bit of intel there in his hand, but because it's made with just the usual pieces, you can actually swap these parts out, part by part, with other figures. If you want to have somebody who looks like he's coming out of cloak or something, he actually has a grenade on the front and a pouch that are separate pieces, and this is fully articulated. It's not just a statue or something like that you just have to look at. Now, I think they have suggested, without saying it, that the material that's used for this clear creation is not quite as durable necessarily as the materials they use for the normal figures, because they have included a couple of extra of these. This is just the piece that goes right there at the forearm as the final little bit of the exo suit. They included 2 of those extra in the set, or in the bag, with this figure. So I would be a little extra careful, given this suggestion that these parts might break a little bit more easily. They didn't say it outright, but including extra parts usually means that they think that some folks will break them. So I would be a little extra careful with this figure and not use it for heavy play. Just be careful with it while posing it, and try to keep it in you can pose it how you want to, but just do it slowly, don't move it too quickly. Lastly, the set also comes with a deployable shield with the transparent tinted colored bulletproof panes there, and it's about the height of a figure, just a little bit shorter, but the big deal here is that the top pane is able to be slid down, so that's actually in a track, so you can close and open that as you want. To be honest with you, I wish they had done a Titan instead of an MD turret, just a more exciting subject to me. Who knows, they might still do a Titan as the Signature Series set this year or something, but this is a good MD turret. It's a good representation of the thing. It has good play value to it, I'd say, and really good display value. Very, very posable, very adaptable to different kinds of scenes, from something that's partially destroyed where it's, you know, kind of just leaning down to the ground awkwardly, to something that's actually climbing up, to something that's just posed on a flat surface, you know, on the edge of a building or something like that. However you want to pose it, you can. And it comes with a good selection of figures as well. I'm surprised by how many new things, you know, large pieces that they actually developed specifically for this set. Really adds to the authenticity of it. Just good stuff. More good work from Mega Bloks for sure. The only thing that's a question mark for me is just the decision to go with the single dot eye pattern for the exposed faces, but I know they have their reasons for that, and there are good things about it and there are bad things about it. It's more of a subjective thing that you have to make a call on. Let me know what you think about this set and about its features by leaving a comment down below. Thank you very much for watching. As always, the most frequently asked viewer questions are already answered in the video description, so be sure to check that out, and I'll be talking to you again very soon.